Hello YouTube, it's William. Glad you guys are enjoying the camping trips I'm having with Dad, because I certainly am. I mean, he's getting on up in years, and you can kind of see that he's getting on up in years. So I'm trying to spend as much time outdoors with him as I can, and really enjoying it, and he is too. So I appreciate all your support on that, and all your well wishes and everything. So what I thought that maybe I would do is, I'm getting a lot of questions about the Woodsman series and my thoughts on them and things like that, and I thought I would just go through all of them, except I don't have a trapping Woodsman, and really I haven't used it in skinning anyway to give you an opinion on it, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to do well from the design of it. I mean, it has a deep belly. That's what you want in a skinning knife. So the first one I'm going to start with is the HD, the Master Woodsman HD, and it's this knife here that I used on camp in my last video series. And I used it for many things: clearing camp. I used it for hammering stakes. I used it for cooking, fire prep, everything that you would use a knife for to set up camp or on camp. I even used it trying to fillet some catfish, and so I mean, I thoroughly use the knife, and it's a 3/16 7-inch blade, so it's a lot of knife. So as you would expect, it excelled at some things and some things it did not. And I'm sure it's the same story with this one, which is a 7.5-inch blade. It's the stranded Woodsman, which I haven't had a chance to use it a lot, but it has a little bit longer handle, and you can choke up on the blade and shorten it up and things like that. A little bit more belly, a little bit different blade tip, a little stronger tip. But I imagine the results of it would probably be about the same as the HD. So my thoughts on those two items is: great choppers, fantastic choppers. If you want to take something in the woods besides an axe or a hatchet, then these two knives is what you would want. Now, it excels at fire prep, it excels at camp prep. Where it's lacking, it's not a fillet knife. It got the job done, but you know, it's 3/16 of an inch blade is a bit thick to try to fillet a fish. The problem is, it's not that it's too thick, it's the blade is heavy and it just cuts through bone. It's too easy. You need something that will kind of slide along the backbone, and those knives, or the HD did anyway, in my experience, it wanted to slice into the bone too well, and if you wasn't very careful, then it would slice through your bones and you wouldn't have a fillet. So that was one of the issues, and two, with a little practice, you might be able to overcome that, and you might be able to get very proficient at it. But just using it for the 3 or 4 catfish that I tried it on, I was getting better, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Okay, now these knives are heavy. They go in excess of a pound. I mean, if you're looking at weight, it's probably not the best option. If you want to go compare a knife with a hatchet, it's probably about the same weight or pretty close to it. So that's my thoughts on the HD. I think that it is a very good option for a one-tool option. Okay, it is going to excel at chopping, fire prep, batoning, chopping down small trees. I mean, you know, it will excel at all of that. Where it's going to be a little cumbersome is the fine carving and some of your game prep on your smaller game, things like that. Then if you're going to do a lot of that, then you may want to choose a different Woodsman grind. Alright, so the next one is the Master Woodsman. And this Master Woodsman, without any doubt, hands down, throw me in a jungle somewhere, this is the knife I want. Throw me in the woods, this is the knife I want. Over the HD and all these others, 5/32 blade is a good medium there. 6-inch blade, good length. It gives you enough to have a little bit of chopping power. It's not blade heavy. It's up here. It's a very balanced knife. It excels at many tasks, including fine carving and just a lot of tasks that you would think that a larger knife wasn't good at. But this knife excels at it. This knife, I have never yet used this knife in any situation to where I said it was weak. It's got a thick enough blade that it'll baton well. I mean, everything I've used it on is like I said, it's excelled. And this is my favorite knife out of all of the knives that I have ever used. This is my knife. This is the knife that I want to use all the time. If I didn't have to test other designs, this is the knife I would use. Okay. Now, as far as a woods knife, okay, let me clarify that. In the woods, this is the knife that I do take with me. I would want this one with me. Okay. So the next one in the series is the Junior Woodsman, and it is probably the best EDC knife for me that I have ever used. It works well in the shop. It works well with cutting leather, kydex, carving handles for crooked knives, carving fire prep. It does good on fire prep. It's got an 1/8-inch blade. So for a companion knife, if you wanted to go into the woods and take a little hatchet with you or a axe, this is a fantastic companion knife. I would not want to go into the woods in my woods with just this. But again, it depends on your woods. It depends on what you prefer, what you're used to. I have a lot of brush and vines and stuff, as you've seen in my videos, to clear out in order to set up camp, and I wouldn't want to do it with this knife. Now, if you're going into a controlled environment like a state park or a open woods area where you really don't need a large knife, then this is an option for you. I think this is for the bushcrafter. And what I say is a bushcrafter is someone who goes out camping and doing crafting on camp, a little carving. And I say carving, there's a difference between whittling and carving. Carving is when you're making figurines or things that's going to help you on the camp. Whittling is just making smaller sticks out of a big stick. Okay, so there's a difference. But for carving and things like this and doing bushcrafting things on camp, this is the knife for you. Okay, whereas the Master Woodsman, it is more for the higher end of camp clearing, camp chores, camp prep, firecraft. It's game processing, larger game processing. That's what the Master Woodsman is geared for. This one is more geared for a companion carving, whittling, that type of EDC task where you can take it with you into town, you can take it with you around the house. It's small, it's compact. That's what this knife excels at. Now, would it skin a moose? Probably would. Would it be my first option? No. Okay, just kind of give you an idea about that one. Now, I also made one that you probably have seen on the video, and this one is 3/32, and it did good. I mean, as you would expect, a thinner blade carves very well. Is it that much better than the 1/8 inch? Personal preference. I didn't see that much difference in it, but you may. So that's an option for you. And the last one in the series that I have, like I said, I don't have the Trapping Woodsman, but here's the little Firebug. It's a little skeleton knife with a distal taper. It's a great little companion knife. It's one of those knives that you just throw in a pack and leave it there in case you need it. It would be great to have as a neck knife, you know, with a larger knife, or maybe even the HD. Because if you take the HD, you're going to wish you had a smaller knife, a joint knife, or something that's smaller for those smaller tasks. But this is a great little knife for firecraft as a companion knife, as a neck knife. It's actually more comfortable than what you would imagine. And Feral Woodcraft did a very good video on this, and I'll leave a link in the description of what his findings is on this. And also Primal Outdoors, this is all he uses. He took one to Africa and everywhere else, and this is, anytime you see him use a knife on camp, he's using this knife. So I'll leave a link to his channel below as well. Fantastic videography Primal Outdoors does. Great channel. I really like his channel. He has come a really long way in a short period of time. So this is the knife he prefers, and basically opening packages, doing a little firecraft, doing feather sticks, this is what he has on him all the time. But he has an axe as well, so depends on what you want to carry. Now, like I said, out of all the knives, for me personally, in my woods, in my environment, what I do with a knife, the Master Woodsman is still the master as far as knives. It is the knife that fits me best. It's not too big, not too small. It checks all the boxes. Fine carver, fine wheeler. It has a little heft to it. It will chop through brush if you need to. It batons well. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet that it didn't do well. So there you have it. My favorite is the Master Woodsman. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of the different styles and find something that fits your needs. Maybe the HD is what you prefer in a knife, and you like to go out and you like to chop. If you like to chop, then that's a chopper. It's a lot of blade there. So until the next one, you guys get out in the woods. You guys enjoy this great outdoors that we enjoy. And if you get the opportunity, take a child with you and teach that child a passion or a love for the outdoors. And if you do, be sure to take plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.